Greetings, ladies, gents, and MBs. Welcome to or back to the channel. My name's Sky, and holy fuck, I still cannot believe what just happened a couple of days ago. It's still so surreal to me that this reveal has actually happened, and of course I'm talking about the announcement that Xenoblade Chronicles X is getting a definitive edition, and it's coming to the Switch! Like, holy shit, oh, this is such a dream come true for me. Like, it's so surreal that this is actually happening. Because, like, out of a lot of reveals that I've wanted to happen in popular culture, this is definitely one of the ones that, like, top 3 for sure. Like, right alongside something like Sora and Smash. Like, this is that big of a deal for me. It's just so crazy that this has finally happened. And out of the blue too, nonetheless. Like, Nintendo and Monolith stuff just like, hey, just let's drop this on Random Tuesday, and they did. Oh, like, what a bombshell of a reveal. That is just, oh, that has me so excited for all kinds of reasons. This announcement is just such a big deal for me. I'm still kind of reeling from it. And, oh, like, I'm legitimately just very, very happy by this reveal. Just truly. And because for those of you who don't know, Xenoblade is actually my other favorite, like, thing in all popular culture. Like, that and Kingdom Hearts are my 2 biggest special interests. And I would definitely say Xenoblade Chronicles is tied with Kingdom Hearts as my favorite video game franchise. And, like I mentioned before, my other favorite big special interest. So this is, like... And Xenoblade Chronicles X is, like, a game I've not played yet. So, this is gonna be... And I played every other Xenoblade game, but not X. And the fact that I'm actually be able to play it... just has me... Just makes me so happy. It just makes me so happy. So, I thought I'd share that happiness with you guys, through what's essentially my first attempt at doing an unscripted, video, because I just really want to get all of my thoughts out there for the world to hear, and, because I do have a bit to say. Like, first off, my history with Xenoblade X dates back pretty much since it got announced back in January 2013, I believe so. Maybe I think it might have been like a brief, I think it might have been announced in an article by Monolith Soft in like late 2012. But at the very least, the first trailer debuted in January 2013 during that Wii U Direct. For those of you who remember that, for those of you who don't know, there was a Direct dedicated to the Wii U back in January 2013, and that is where got the reveal of Xenoblade Chronicles X, which was formerly just known as X. It wasn't Xenoblade branded at the time, though there were definitely elements of Xenoblade in it, in the trailer that you could see, like it having similar talent, and also having a very similar looking combat system. It still wasn't known as a Xenoblade game at the time. And then, like, I kept on, like, following the game and its marketing since then, through the other, like, footage we saw back when it was just called X, and then eventually when it was revealed that I was going to be a new entry in the Xenoblade series. And actually, X was my first introduction to the Xenoblade series. Like, that was how I got introduced into that series, through that game's marketing. And yeah, it wasn't the first Xenoblade game. Maybe I might have seen, like, the box art for the first Xenoblade game beforehand, back when it was released. I vaguely remember, but anyway, X was the one that got me interested. At the very least, X is what got me interested in Xenoblade. So I eventually did watch the first cutscenes, the cutscenes for the first Xenoblade game, and I really did like it. And then, like, I kept continuing following the marketing for X, including those 3 half-hour-long showcases for the Japan release of the game, and then also the 6-part, I want to say, series that were like 10 minutes each going into the features for the US release. Well, for those which I doubt any of you, like, probably remember or even are aware of, but if you remember, you probably are crumbling to dust right now since all that came out nearly 10 years ago. Which, yeah, I'm about to crumble to dust myself just thinking about it. like crap, I'm old. I feel old anyway. But yeah, and then eventually, the game came out. The US release anyway. Let's see. It came out in Japan in April of 2015, and then in the US in December that same year. And I didn't have a Wii U. I still don't have a Wii U, unfortunately. Despite how knowledgeable I am of the Wii U, thanks to stuff like watching the Nintendo Directs as they came out during the Wii U 3DS era, I still, still own one, which is a shame because there were a lot of great games on it that I would love to have played. Some of which still aren't on the Nintendo Switch, like, mind you, like, a good amount of them are, but just not everyone. I mean, anyway, so, because of that, I still want to, like, see what happened to Xenoblade X, so I just watched the cutscenes of the game on YouTube, and I'm not gonna lie, I think it might have changed my brain chemistry a bit. Like, I mean, for one reason, it really got me. It solidified my interest in Xenoblade. Like, Xenoblade 1's cutscenes I still enjoyed very much, but Xenoblade X solidified me being a fan for the rest of my life. Like, it was that impactful for me. Like, despite having arguably the I don't want to say least well executed main narrative, but it definitely has, like, but the main narrative is not as good as the other main narratives, I will say, but it doesn't mean that it can't be impactful, and it certainly was for me, and I think part of it is because it introduced me to a lot of really interesting sci-fi concepts I just never encountered before. I mean, it got me interested in things I just never showed an interest in before. Like, it got me interested in post-apocalyptic narratives. It also got me interested in sci-fi in general. Well, I mean, I was kind of interested in sci-fi before with stuff like the Clone Wars, one of my favorite shows of all time, and like other Star Wars media as well. But I think X is what really solidified my love for sci-fi. Because, like, and I think part of it is just because of how many interesting concepts it introduced to me. Like, I don't want to, like, spoil a lot, but, like, one, it got me interested into, like, transhumanism, which, like, it's a topic I still am, like I wouldn't like to say I'm an expert in transhumanism, but it's certainly a concept I am very fascinated by, and part of that reason is because of Xenoblade X. Again, I won't say why, because of spoilers. And of course, it got me into mechs! It got me into mecha! Well, kinda. I still, like, haven't consumed that many mecha media, and I don't own a lot of mechs myself. Actually, I don't own any mech. I don't know why I'm making it sound like I do have mech models. I don't. But yeah, and also just like, and also just the world of Mira as well. It's just such a fascinating world to me. Like, it's honestly really crazy just how beautiful Mira is. It's honestly genuinely one of my favorite locations in all of popular culture. Like, in all of media, like, it's just so stunning and detailed. And, like, despite me never actually having played through Mira and, like, exploring that world myself, I still am just really invested in that world, its history, and just everything about it, honestly. And, another reason why I think Xenoblade X is just so special to me is because they also really got me interested in combat in games. Specifically, hardcore, detailed, complex combat systems. Like, what you see in Xenoblade Chronicles. And that's what, like, one of the reasons that the series really appeals to me is because it introduces me to, like, so many different complex systems I found really fascinating and intriguing. It's like, I kind of want to try those systems out. Like, systems like the ones in the Xenoblade Chronicles series really tickle my brain because of just how complex they are. I know they're not everyone's cup of tea, and that's really fun. Like, Xenoblade Chronicles is a hardcore RPG series. It's not for everyone, gameplay-wise, but it's certainly for me, and part of the reason is because of, like, seeing, like, what the gameplay of X was going to be like through its marketing, specifically its showcases and, like, deep dive videos that Nintendo did to promote the game. Like, it really helped a lot in, like, establishing just what kind of gameplay I like in a game, what kind of combat I like in a game, what kind of open world mechanics I like in a game. Yeah, it definitely helped. Like, I think the game overall just like help refine my taste for a lot of things in media. And also it got me interested in badass women because of one character in particular, Elma. She is my queen. She like her design, yeah, just like it's one of my favorites of all time. Like the silver hair, the red like suit, the fact that she wields dual weapons, like she's just one of the coolest characters I have ever seen, and like she remains one of my favorite characters in all of media to this day, just because of just how cool and badass she is. Like, and also besides getting me into like cool badass women, she also got me into characters with silver hair. Which, if you know me as a Kingdom Hearts fan, you know I have characters. There are certain characters in particular that I like in that regard. Riku and Yozora. But yeah, like seriously, that game just really did a lot for... It's such a formative piece of media for me. Like, despite me never actually having played it myself, I still consider it a formative piece of media for me, just because of just how fascinating I found many of the concepts were, how cool a lot of the things in that game were, and just it gave me into things I wasn't really interested in beforehand. Like, I do credit it as probably one of the most influential pieces of media in my entire life. And I'm not just saying that from the perspective of a fan, I'm also saying that as a perspective from the perspective of a creative, because I eventually want to like tell my own stories, and a lot of my story ideas take heavy influence from Xenoblade Chronicles, and X is like and out of all the games, X is one of the bigger influences from the series on my story ideas. So like hopefully like whenever I get to share those stories with the world, you'll probably get to see some of those influences whenever that day comes. Like, again, like, Xenoblade X is just such a... The series is just special to me overall, but X in particular just, like, such a mark on, like, on me as a person and as a creative that it's always gonna have a special place in my heart because of how much of an impact it's left on me. So, yeah. Oh yeah, the music. I probably should talk about the music, because... Oh my god, the music of Xenoblade X is just something else. Like, oh, it's so good. Like, Hiroyuki Serrano just knocked it out of the park with this OST. It's honestly one of my favorite OST music, one of my favorite soundtracks of any piece of media, period. Like, out of all the Xenoblade Chronicles series soundtracks, it's definitely my favorite. In terms of, like, video game soundtracks, it's, like, right up there with basically the overall series soundtrack of Kingdom Hearts. And just, like, some of those tracks just, like, have stuck with me for so long. Theme X in particular is my favorite. And it's also my favorite piece of music, not including anything with vocals in it, ever. Like, Next to Dearly Beloved, I think it's that good. It's just such an epic piece of music that also feels so empowering and grand as well. Like, I don't know, it just gives me a very strong, passionate feeling whenever I listen to it. And it's not even the only one. There's plenty of other great tracks I absolutely adore. Some of which I may not be able to name off the top of my head, but, like, Hiroyuki Serrano's soundtrack for the game just, like, it's also just very diverse, and, like, you go from, like, grand one moment and then, like, very emotional the next. Like, it just makes you feel so many, like, strong emotions. But yeah, like, I think Hiroyuki Serrano's soundtrack is just absolutely peak. It's peak! I think it's peak, and honestly, I can't imagine Xenoblade X without it. And it's also, talking about, like, creative influence on me, a lot of my story ideas, I imagine the music of those stories being similar to that of Xenoblade X. Like, that's how much of an influence that soundtrack has had on me, as well as the rest of the game. It's just that it's that impactful for me, and I mean, there's a reason why it's my favorite single soundtrack of any piece of media. Not like including an overall series like Kingdom Hearts. Like, in terms of a single piece of media, Xenoblade X has my favorite soundtrack. Although Death Stranding is pretty close. Pretty pretty close to that. I guess I can talk about the trailer now. Now that we've gotten all of that out of the way, I do want to like get my own impressions on the trailer. First off, graphic-wise, very different from what like Xenoblade 1 Definitive Edition was, which was quite the upscale. Upgrade, whatever. Tomato, tomato. I can talk. But anyway, but I still like how it turned out. Like, I think it does, the models, like, I think do look significantly better than, like, the Xenoblade 1, Xenoblade X, the original Xenoblade X, kind of. I mean, I don't really, actually, I don't have a preference between the two, but I will say, I think the models in Definitive Edition do look slightly better. Although, I will say, Elma's skin tone does look a bit lighter in some shots. Though, when I put it next to, like, some renders of her, like, the skin tone from the, like, renders of her from the first game, the skin tone did look similar, so maybe I'm just... Maybe my eyes are just playing tricks on me, I don't know. I do know that they changed the saturation of, like, colors for the game, so that might have something to do with it, I don't know. I'm not a modeling expert, I am not a game development expert, so don't really trust what I say in this regard. But yeah, I don't know what, like, I'm sure, maybe it probably was just the lighting and the saturation thing that they had with that, I don't know. Anyway, that's just one thing I noticed, but, like, overall, I think the game looks really good graphic-wise. Like, I'm definitely really excited to see some of the big scenes get recreated in, Definitive Edition. Like, the opening, for example, that's gonna be really cool to see again. Like, also, it's just crazy to think of, like, how they've been able to achieve this, because one of the reasons why Xenoblade Chronicles X hasn't appeared on the Switch sooner is because of just how big it is and how expensive of an undertaking that would be. Like I know that the series creator, Tetsuya Takahashi, what is with me and being fans of middle-aged Japanese guys whose name is Tetsuya? Anyway, like, I know he said, like, one of the big reasons why they haven't done Xenoblade X in the past for the Switch was because of how expensive it would be. Because, like, one, like, I know, like, there's, like, a lot of, like, videos and articles out there about, like, why is it such a challenge, and one of the reasons is because it was made so specifically for the Wii U in mind that trying to make that for the Switch would be impossible. I know Britta from Food for Dogs did a wonderful video detailing, like, some of the reasoning behind Xenoblade X not appearing on the Switch, so I recommend checking it out. I'll have a link to that in the description below. But, yeah, I definitely get, like, all the reasoning that they hold up, and I think all that reasoning in particular led, like, pretty much everyone, myself included, to believe that the game was going to be made for the Switch's successor, whatever that ends up being. But no! It's coming to the OG Switch! That's crazy to think about. Like, that is such an incredible technological feat. And, like, from what I even heard, it takes up less space on the Switch in comparison to the Wii U, so they probably did a lot of compressing when making the Switch, when making the Definitive Edition, which is insane to think about. But yeah, I'm just really so excited, like, to, like, see more of what the Definitive Edition looks like. I'm really curious to see what the gameplay is going to look like, specifically, like, the UI. Like, because I know, like, one of the big praises for the Xenoblade 1 Definitive Edition was of how cleaned up the UI was. And, yeah, like, if you look at the UI for the Wii U version, it doesn't look that clean. I'm sure there's going to be some tweaking to the UI in the Definitive Edition, which I think will be much appreciated. Because, like, despite me saying earlier that I'm a fan of complex mechanics, I will admit the UI could be a little bit cleaner. So hopefully that gets tweaked. I'm very excited for the next trailer, because they're undoubtedly probably going to show some gameplay of when the next trailer comes out. And as well, I want to see more of that new story content. And I can't talk about this without going to spoilers for the base game, for the original game. So here's a time skip in case you want to, like, avoid spoilers for this game. So anyway, that being said, we're going to see Lau again! We are going to get a continuation of that cliffhanger. I cannot believe it. We're going to finally see who that person is. I'm betting on either Black Knight or the Lone Hero. That's my guess. We're going to see where Lau woke up, like where he woke up on. I'm so curious if we're going to see more of like that other cliffhanger with Elma discovering that the database contained digitized human consciousnesses of the citizens of NLA were destroyed. Like, I'm really curious. I would love to get a continuation of that, like, because like that was like one of the biggest cliffhangers I've ever seen in my entire life. I remember being shocked by how Xenoblade X ended. Like, that cutscene. I still can't believe that's been almost 10 years ago since I saw that. Anyway, we've been waiting a long ass time for a continuation of Xenoblade X, and to finally get some answers to those last couple of post-credit scenes. So the fact that we're finally going to be getting that, at least for the Lao stuff, is huge. Like, really huge. It's such a big deal. I am just really curious to see what this new story expansion is going to be like. I also wonder if they're going to contain any of the other, like, cut content from Xenoblade X, because Xenoblade X has a lot of cut content, and there's plenty of videos out there that go into detail on that. I'll definitely have one video in particular that I like in the description below for you to check out. Like, I wonder if we're going to see anything more of, like, what was it, the Sakuraba Corporation? Because, like, I know they're weapons manufacturer in X, and it was supposed to be a big part of the original game story, I believe, so I'm really curious if we want to see more about that. I know the Rothians also probably weren't going to have a... Oh, wait, was it the Rothians, or was it another alien race that was going to have a big role in the original game? Anyway, the artbook for Xenoblade X contains a lot of this info. That's just where I'm getting all of this info from. So, like, again, go check it out. Because it's very interesting how much was left on the cutting room floor for Xenoblade X, and you know, I hope we get to see at least some of that in this new story expansion, and hopefully, maybe even a sequel. I hope so. I think there's a good chance we're going to be getting a sequel, and the possibility of that has me very, very hyped. Anyway, I guess that's like all the thoughts I wanted to share with you guys. Yeah, this is such a big deal for me. This is such a special reveal for me. It's so crazy that one of my biggest pop culture dreams has finally come true after all of these years. It's crazy because, like, I wanted to play a port of X for the Switch since, like, back when the Switch was known as the NX. I've been wanting this for a long time. So, and I know I'm not the only one, and, like, I know, like, all of us in the Xenoblade fandom are just, like, who are, like, celebrating together for this occasion, and it's just been amazing seeing everyone's reaction to this, and I hope this also gets more people interested in X as well. I think this is going to be this is going to hopefully give more exposure to X, and the fact that all the Xenoblade games are going to be on a single platform is also incredible. I cannot believe that we're going to get every single Xenoblade game on the same console. That is crazy, and oh, I'm just so excited. And for those of you who haven't, like, don't know what happens in X, or haven't, like, don't know much about X, you guys are going to be in for something really exciting and really special, and I hope you guys really enjoy your time with it if you decide to play the game yourself. And when it comes out in March, that's so crazy. That's also coming out so soon as well. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to buying it. I'm definitely looking forward to playing it, and hopefully one of the things I want to do is I want to be able to, like, start streaming soon, and hopefully I'll be able to stream that, because, like, that is one game I would love to stream my reactions to and get to share that experience of finally playing that game with you guys. Like, I think that'd be really awesome. Anyway, I think that's all I want to say on the matter. Thanks for watching this, and listening to me ramble. I know I may sound like... I know I may sound like a bit rambly, and... I don't know. I don't really consider myself a great talker, so, part of me if I sound a bit awkward throughout this video. This is what you get when you talk to me this is what you get when you hear me unscripted, compared to in my Broken Heart Theory video. Which, by the way, for those of you who have already watched the Broken Heart Theory video, thank you. I really do appreciate it. For those of you who've watched the video, who have liked the video, who commented on the video, thank you all so much for watching it. And if you haven't already, please go watch it. I'm very proud of that video, and I hope it, sees some more success in the future. I'm currently working on my Child of Destiny theory video and my Cage 4 Disney Worlds video, so please check that out. Please stay tuned for those two videos. Hopefully, they'll be out soon. But Child of Destiny is gonna come first, and then the Cage 4 Disney Worlds video will come out first. I mean, afterwards, not first, afterwards. Anyway, I swear, I can talk. Oh, a funny story about me writing the Child of Destiny script video, because that's what I was currently working on, was that. So I was working on that the morning that Xenoblade X Definitive Edition got announced, and when I saw that, it was about 15 minutes after it got the trailer dropped, when I saw that, I screamed so loud. I don't remember the last time I screamed that loud, and I screamed so loud that I woke up my brother. He was still asleep during that, and yeah, he's not a fan of being woken up. But no, seriously, I just got genuinely excited for it when I saw it. It's just I think the last time I actually screamed out loud was when I watched, was it the Season 3 finale of Demon Slayer, maybe? Maybe. Probably was that. But yeah, I'm just super excited for this game. I know I didn't cover a lot in this video, because I'm sure there's plenty of other videos out there, people going deeper into Xenoblade X and the Definitive Edition and some of the details about it. I actually just finished watching Luxon's video on the Definitive Edition and his analysis of it, which I recommend checking out if you want, and also if you need a bit more incentive. He briefly mentions Kingdom Hearts and calls it the sister series to Xeno, both in terms of complexity and behind the scenes relation, and every time I hear an opinion like that, I always give that person a respect, because there's not a lot of people who think both Xeno and Kingdom Hearts are equal in terms of complexity, and may not be familiar with the behind-the-scenes history that the two of them kind of share. So, and also the fact that both Tetsuya Nomura and Tetsuya Takahashi are friends. So, yeah, that's always appreciated whenever people acknowledge that, or have that opinion, because I share that as well. Anyway, with that out of the way, thanks so much for watching this. I still can't believe it's real. I still can't believe it's real. My Xenoblade loving heart is so very happy because of this. Anyway, see y'all next time. Please take care of yourselves and keep on keeping on.